Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, June 28th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of clarifications. First off, this number you see over here will be changing around, and then the candlestick you see here will also be changed around. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then next, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So for you beginners out there, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So let's start off here with stock number one here, which is ticker symbol EVFM, and a very nice pattern here and a good setup, which makes this that much better for moving forward, because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can certainly produce some very dynamic movements. And what's interesting here is that, let's try that again, late day here as I speak, and this is exactly why I like to do these videos when the market's still open, you can see that the price has actually broken up through that key area of resistance. So that level right there, the price is now up through there, which brings up a very important question. Is this the start of something bigger? Now, think about that question. In order for me to even be able to ask that question, something worthwhile first needs to happen to begin with. But we did get that something, right? We got that breakout, which is now played out and is, working as I speak. And it's just a question of, is this the start of something much bigger? Again, I realize it may seem like an anticlimactic question, but in a lot of stocks, you don't ever get to even ask that question because nothing worthwhile ever happens. But in this situation, it is happening, and like I said, it's happening right now as I speak, as this breakout is occurring, and unfolding right here before our eyes. So let's see if this thing is going to get that much more momentum, that much more strength to the upside here on Tuesday. And I'm kind of stalling around because I want to see, can it even break through these highs up here? But regardless, the point here is that when you pull this chart up, you're going to know exactly, where it's ultimately closed. So you're going to have an idea of, just how great this breakout was by the time this gets uploaded to YouTube. But keep an eye on that. That's going to be the main dynamic. If you do like, wow, it keeps going. If you do like to play pullbacks, then an interesting pullback area right down there at the 85-cent mark, and I'll change that to green to represent more so a support area. But overall, yeah, that's the key dynamic. Big breakout, and let's see how much this carries into Tuesday. Next one here, ticker symbol NRSN, and sort of the exact opposite of what we just talked about, because EVFM was actually breaking out, and this one is going in the other direction. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this area up here, right at $3.10, is going to be an area that a lot of people are watching. And as I mentioned earlier, self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. While there are no guarantees, it's more than valid to think that if the price can actually recover back up to that area and then get a break up through that level, that break in and of itself could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. But as I speak, like I said, this thing is literally going in the opposite direction right now with the last 30 minutes. You can see actually pressing down towards lows right here. So what seemingly is now going to be a more relevant dynamic here is going to be levels of support and areas that you would want to see. There we go. Would want to see hold if this pullback does pull back, which that key level sits right down there at $2 and let's double check. Yeah, 45 cents. So again, I'll change that to green to represent more so the support. But that's something that you're going to want to keep an eye on because the market is still open for about 11 minutes as of right now. So question number one that you're going to want to ask yourself is, is the price even still above that level? Now, if it is, that's good. That implies that the support has held. But if it's broken down below there, then it's just a question of, okay, well, how far down below there? And the further down below that level of support the price may be, the more bearish the situation has become. But as of right now, staying above it, but 245 definitely going to be the main level of support. And again, up there, $3.10 main area of resistance. Next one, ticker symbol AMC. Very, very impressive day. I mean, almost all green candles, couple red ones, but point here being just went up and went up and went up. So a very, very impressive way to start off the week, which is now giving us a nice technical pattern here that I'm sure a lot of people will be watching. So this is not me trying to impress you. This is not me trying to imply that what I'm drawing here is some sort of difficult pattern. A lot of people are watching it, and I go through all that because when a lot of people are watching the same dynamics and wondering the same dynamics, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So we have our resistance part of the pattern up there at 1450. We have our support portion right here, lower part of that trend line. And then maybe to make this just easier to see, let's turn this all into one color. So again, we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big momentum move right here. Let's put our golf hole down here to make it a little bit more visual. And this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So bull pennant pattern here on AMC headed into Tuesday, but overall, fantastic way to start the week. Next one, AFIB, and I like this because once again, it's a nice, well-defined pattern. We'll get a little creative with it to an extent, not much, but once again, top part of the pattern right up here, resistance at $1.20. As far as the support part of the pattern, have a nice little trend line right here that's starting to take shape. So change that to green once again to represent the level of support. And then when I get through the rest of the pattern here, again, let's keep it all one color. Resistance, support, and then what I'm going to do here is use the gap as the momentum move here. So when I use the gap itself, we have ourselves once again put that golf hole down there, another bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play bull pennants, if you like to play stocks down below the $2 range, then this is definitely one that you should keep an eye on. Next one, PLTR, and this is a little tricky because it just depends on your perspective going in. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you were buying up there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad. However, if you're someone that's in this for more of the bigger picture point of view, then even with the pullback here, the overall chart, keyword there being overall, is still perfectly fine. I mean, if you look at where these lows have been, so we have a set of lows there, have lows there, have lows there. And if you envision those as stair steps, what do you have? Well, overall, the stair steps are still very clearly progressing in the upwards direction. Again, yes, if you bought up there, then and you want it as a day trader or something, as a scalper, then the chart's a terrible, it's a train wreck for you. But for people that care about the big picture trend, yes, there is a pullback, but overall the trend is still perfectly fine. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that dynamic moving forward. And really the level that stands out to me right now as being that key level of support, which again, after today, did a fantastic job of holding strong. But you go through the history of things, you can see did a good job of holding strong there and there. And that level is currently valued at $9.50. So that'll be that main area of support. But again, overall, the chart is still perfectly fine. Real quick, wanted to pause and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering here later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and how it should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for this free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box below. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. So again, if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, then certainly get signed up for the free training. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and this is one that I am always keeping a very close eye on, so I like to just keep this updated. And if you disagree, that's fine with my analysis. But the first level here that I'll be very curious about tomorrow is going to be right there at $740. That's the level that I've talked about previously, and it did come into play earlier on in the day, where you can see when the price got up through it here and did make a good solid move, but with the price dropping back down below it, that area at 740 is once again an area of resistance where, the big question mark I threw out there is, okay, well, yeah, it ultimately failed today, but if the price can get back up there and give it another go and push up through there, is that going to turn things around, and is that going to create another surge of upside buying pressure? So it's worth at least keeping an eye on 740 from a breakout standpoint. As far as areas of support are concerned, the main dynamic that I'm very curious about going to be all about purple line right there, which on my chart denotes the famous 50-period moving average. So if the price does pull back to that area, right around $720, give or take, very curious about that. But in at least in my opinion, the most interesting dynamic is all about that 740 mark, and can the price get up there and push up through it? So we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Next, ticker symbol BOXD, and a very, very interesting situation here for two reasons. Reason number one, check out the last 30 minutes. Not very good at all. Big red candle. But that segues in the next dynamic that makes this very interesting, because look at where this red candle is now getting relatively close to that purple line, as I just talked about, the 50-period moving average. And the 50-period moving average on this chart carries quite a bit of significance. How so? Well, let's go look back through the history of things, and you can see back here, price got down around that purple line, nice move to the upside. More recently, look at that. If the purple line was like a wave and the price was a surfer, did a great job of surfing that wave before another move nicely to the upside. And once again, the price is getting close to that area. Does that mean that for sure guaranteed it will bounce again because it's happened twice before? Of course not. Again, no guarantees. But is it plausible? Is it rational to think that it could bounce up from that area again? Absolutely. So if you like to play these pullbacks in this price range, then this is certainly one worth keeping an eye on. Next one, NIO, and I put this one in the wrong spot on the watch list now that I think about it, just because it follows the same logic as what I talked about on, I don't remember what it was, but overall, what I'm trying to get at here is this a bad or good-looking chart? Well, it depends on your perspective. So PLTR, that's what it was. So if you're a day trader and you bought up there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, yes, from that perspective, things look really, really bad. Now, if you care about things from the big picture point of view, even with the pullback, everything is still perfectly fine. You have the stair step there, stair step there, stair step there. You get the idea, stair step there. And then you look at it from a big picture point of view, and the stair steps are still, very clearly progressing in the upwards direction. So yes, today individually, not a great day for NIO, but think about that word today, as in one day. So when you take a step back and look at multiple days, as we're doing here, you can see that the price is still plenty in an uptrend. So that's going to be the, the main dynamic, assuming you care about big picture point of view. In terms of areas of resistance moving forward, the stubborn level remains up there right around that $24 mark. So keep a close eye on that. But overall, yes, the trend remains in the bull's favor. Next, AAPL, Apple. And like this one here, because it's got a nice, well-defined pattern. So we go back to that whole talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies. But you have a nice defined area there at 143.25 as a breakout, or as the resistance. So that would make it the breakout point. You have a very nice trend line right here. So for those of you that like to play potential pullbacks, and then again, let's just make this all the same color. Ideally, make it easier to see. So again, we have a resistance, we have our support, we have our momentum move right here, have our golf hole down here, and we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. And all this is, of course, happening within a good, solid upwards context with the moving average. And in fact, for those of you that like to play golden crosses, well, there's a golden cross that just happened today. So something to keep in mind. I'm not a huge fan of golden crosses, but I know a lot of people do like to factor those into their analysis. So if you're one of those people, then here you go. Got yourselves a golden cross on Apple. Next one, XELA. And this one I want to just do quickly because in my opinion, at least, it's game over. And just to justify where I'm coming from, so you don't think I'm just saying that just to say it. And there's nothing fancy behind my reasoning, but that's why I love charts, is because they allow you to keep the logic very simple. But the logic is based around the premise that movements that are genuinely strong are going to show at least some sort of form of progress. They're not going to go back to where they were. So where did this start on XELA? Well, let's just call it this area of the chart right here, because then you had this big move here. What has happened officially after today? What's officially happened is that the price has moved down here. And again, not to insult your intelligence, but when you match that up with where it was previously, well, the price has gone right back to where it was. So some might call this a pump and dump. You can call it whatever you want. All I know is that the price exploded and has now drifted right back to where it all began. Does that mean that the price can never, ever make another nice move in the future? Absolutely not. The price can totally explode for sure. But as far as answering the question about this move here and wondering, hey, is this the start of something bigger? Is there genuine power behind that move? No, we got our answer because the price has literally gone right back to where it was. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, June 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So definitely get signed up for it, and I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these videos, then do two things for me. Hit that like button and leave a simple comment. Say hi. Tell me what you traded today. But doing those two things communicate to me that you enjoy, and as long as I know people are enjoying, then I will continue to put in the required time and effort to get these videos out to you. So hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below, and get signed up for the free class, and hopefully I'll see you later on in the week. Everybody take care. Have a good one.